Okay, so here's how to play Look Back and Laugh. I will do a quick run through of the chords for the people that just want to know what those are, but then after that I will do a detailed breakdown. I will show you exactly what I'm playing. I will show you the strum pattern in detail, and I will also show you two simplified versions, so a simplified bar chord version and how to play it with open chords as well. In the description below I will write down what the chords are so that you have them for reference. Okay, so let's get started. So the verse starts with G13, then it's A13, then it's B minor 7, and then it's back to A13. Again, if this is too fast for you, don't worry. You can skip ahead. I'll put a timestamp so that you can see the breakdown. Now, before I go into the chorus, it goes from B minor 7th to a B dominant 7th. And there is a transition from the verse to the chorus, from the chorus to the bridge, from the bridge back into the chorus. So verse is like that. And then the last time it's... Now for the chorus, it's D dominant 7th, E dominant 9, G dominant 7th, A dominant 7th. And then the last time, before I go back into the verse, it's A13, and then that version of an A7 where I move the pinky up like that. Then for the bridge, it's D dominant 7th, B dominant 7th, E minor 7th, A major, then D7, D dominant 7th again, E dominant 7th, E minor 7th, A major, and then again, before I go back into the chorus, A13, A dominant 7th. So those are the chords, and the strumming pattern is La Pompe from Gypsy Jazz. So you can see that I'm emphasizing the bass string there, the low E, before I do the strum the whole chord. And I'm lifting my hand off the fingerboard, fretboard, to do some muting. Right, that's the quick version, and now I will go into detail for those of you that want a detailed breakdown. Okay, so the foundation of everything that you need to do to play this song the way that I do it, at least, is you need to be able to play a bar chord like that, and you need to be able to move your pinky around or lift individual fingers off the fretboard like that. So like I said, I will show simplified versions later on, but if you want to play it like I do, then you need to be able to do that, because what sounds like fancy chords is really me just messing around with taking my fingers off and putting them in other places. So if you want to play a G13, for example, then you start with this G major bar chord, but then you lift the pinky up and you put it down on the 5th fret of the B string. And all of a sudden you have a fancy jazz chord. So you start like that, and you end up with this. So G13 is literally just a bar chord where I lift the pinky up and put it down somewhere else. And the A13 is the same shape, so just slide it up. So it's the same, it starts as an A major, but I lift my pinky up and put it on the 7th fret of the B string. Now this one's a bit more complicated, but again, start with the bar shape. This time I lift the middle finger up, I don't need that, and the pinky goes down on the 10th fret of the B string. So it's not in the same alignment, it's one fret over. Whereas with the 13, it's you can see it's in the same fret there. Whereas for the B minor 7th, I'm going up like that. And the dominant chords are easy because you start with a major like that, but then you lift up your pinky and don't do anything with it. And all of a sudden, it's a dominant 7th, like that. So, verses. I'm going to show you the strumming pattern in detail, but again, I'll do that later, and just playing it like this, you can get a bit of a sense of how it goes. Then for the chorus, we have this D dominant 7th. You can play the same type of chords in different places on the guitar. That's one of the great things about this instrument, for, you know, different tonalities, different feelings. So this dominant 7th is here. So this D with your index finger on the 5th fret of the A string, which is the second one from the low E. Then we have with my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, so the third from up here, 1, 2, 3. Then that finger, index finger, is barring that whole chord, so we've got the 5th fret of the G string, and then my pinky is on the 7th fret of the B string, so the second highest one. I don't hit the high E string there, although I guess you could. But for this song, I don't. So it's kind of muted because my index finger is lifted a little bit there compared to here, where I'm actually fretting the notes. So the chorus starts with that D dominant 7th, and then we go to this E dominant 9, which is a very fancy chord. And these my fingers are clustered together, but I'll show you individually. With my middle finger, that E on the 7th fret of the A string, so it's the second from the top, I guess. My index finger is on the 6th fret of the D string, so that's the third one from the thickest to the thinnest. Then my ring finger is on the 7th fret of the G string, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my pinky is again on the 7th fret of the B string. So these three are all on the 7th fret, but then the final one, my index finger is on the 6th fret. So the D string, 1, 2, 3, that D string. So the chorus so far. And then it's A dominant 7th, sorry, G dominant 7th to A dominant 7th. And again, a dominant 7th on the, in this form, you can play just by starting with the bar chord, but then lifting your pinky finger. You don't need that. And as I said, each transition I do something like that. So for the chorus, it's A13 to to that version of the A dominant 7th, where I move the pinky up like that. Now the bridge, start with that D dominant 7th, and then this B dominant 7th. Now this one might be a bit complicated because you're muting different strings. You're muting this G string, which is the 4th string, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're muting the top E string. So you're muting them both by curling your fingers across them. But the notes that you are fretting are this B on the 7th fret of the low E string, so the 1st string. Then the 2nd one is the index finger, so that's the 6th fret of the A string, the 7th fret of the D string. Then you're muting this one, the B string, the G string. That is the 7th fret of the B string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th string, and then I'm muting that high E. So that's a B dominant 7th. It's a different way of playing it. That's one way of doing it. That's another way of doing it. But in the bridge I do it like that. And then this E minor 7th. So you start with an E minor bar chord. So in case you don't know, if you take this shape of an A major, of any major bar chord on the low strings, like that, if you move that same shape up so that you're playing that shape there, then it's a minor chord. So to play an E minor 7th, all you have to do is lift your pinky up and not play that. So this is the bridge, right? And then an A major bar chord. So this is a normal A major bar chord. The second time round in the bridge, you're playing this E dominant 7th. Now, it's the same shape as this B dominant 7th, but you just move everything up like that. So, middle finger on the 7th fret of the A string, the index fingers on the 6th fret of the D string, so the 3rd from the bottom, from the thickest. My ring finger is on the 7th fret of the G string. I'm muting the B string, and then my pinky finger is on the high E at the 7th fret. Again, when I transition between sections, and then it's back into the chorus. So in terms of the strumming pattern, it's called La Pompe. It's from Gypsy Jazz. So you start with an up stroke like this, and then you hit the bass string, or the low E string, up, down just on the bass string, or the lowest 2, and then down again. Up, down, down, up, down. But the second down is across all of the strings, or most of the strings, up until, depending on which chord I'm playing, it's at least the high B there, and sometimes the high E as well. Up, down, down, up, down, So there's a bounce there, or a pump as they call it in the French, called la pompe. And with your left hand, you have to be muting. So that means like loosening your grip ever so slightly so that the strings are dampened. So the sound goes down. Because otherwise, if I didn't do that, it'd be like this. It's actually, it makes it hard to transition. So what you have to do, so as soon as I hit that second down strum and I hit that full chord, I loosen my grip on, my fingers are still in place, but I'm just taking them off so that the strings stop ringing out. So you have to do that every time between each big down strum. My friends and I moved to a new neighborhood. There's a park nearby, and the rent is good. Damp windows and a single closet, creaky bed and the hall smells of vomit. It may look a little dodgy, but it feels pretty safe at night. I tell my mom not to worry. Playing it wrong there. Make sure you eat right. I'll make sure you eat right. And then go into the chorus. I know it's not so bad. One day I'll look back and laugh. And though things aren't always great, one day I'll celebrate. The scars remind us who we are. And though getting by is hard, at the very least it'll make a good story. So you can hear that I'm changing the strumming pattern ever so slightly when it comes to those transitions. With the, let's see, with the verse. And then for the chorus. So I'm not doing that lifting, muting motion with my hands when I want to emphasize those changes. For the bridge, here's my suggestion, because as I said, I'm muting the top string and this G string. So the second time round, I'm playing the high E string, and then here I would suggest that you emphasize the high strings for this E minor chord, E minor 7th, which for the first go round you don't really emphasize, but the second time round I would suggest you do, because there's some kind of voice leading thing going on. That means that when you go to the A major the second time round, it sounds really satisfying, to my ears at least. Oh, I'm doing fine, but it's a friend. Oh, I'm doing fine, but some friends of mine work day and night just to get by. It's a race each day to stop falling behind. Will there ever be a finish line? If I didn't laugh, I'd have to cry. I know it's not so bad. Okay, now for those of you that are not yet able to move your pinky around like that, what I would suggest you do is you start with just playing the normal bar chords or the open chords. Now, what you can do basically is take the chords, and like I said, I will put them down in the description. And what you can do is you can just ignore the numbers for now. So instead of worrying about playing a G13 or A13 or whatever, just play a G, G major, A major, etc., etc. Only when there's a minor or major, then you need to play that. You need to play the minor or major version. So for example, for the verse, my friends and I moved to a new neighborhood. It won't sound exactly the same. Obviously, there's a reason why chords have all the notes that they have, but it's a good place to start. Like I said, if you're not able to move your pinky around like that, then you can start playing the song anyway in a more basic version, and you can learn to play the strum pattern, and you can learn to lift your fingers off the fretboard in order to mute in between the strums. So a major chord, like I said, is there, and then for the B minor, what you need to do is lift your middle finger up. So that's a B major, but for the verse you need to play the minor version. So just lift your middle finger up and don't use that. You don't have to put it all the way out of the way. I'm just doing that as an exaggeration, but you can just not play it like that. So that's a simple way to do that. Again, with the chorus, you can play a D to E major, G major to A major. I know it's not so bad. One day I'll look back and laugh, and the things aren't always great. One day I'll celebrate. And for the bridge, and that should work as well. Now, if you are still learning how to do bar chords, then you could potentially just play it with open chords as well. To be honest, it will start sounding a lot different now because it's harder to get that percussive feel for the song when playing open chords. But who knows, you can play your own version, right? Because there's no reason why you have to play it exactly the way I do it. Why not do a cover and do it in your own way? So again, keep the same chord names, and whether it's a major or minor, and then you'll get an approximation, right? So for the verse, it's G, G major, A major, B minor, A major. You can play it like that or like that. I play G with my two fingers like that, but a lot of people play it like that. My friends and I moved to a new... Let's see. My friends and I moved to a new neighborhood. There's a park nearby, and the rent is good. That, kind of works. You can do your own variation on it. Why not? So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Just look up like I said, look at what the names of the chords are. Forget about the numbers for now. Just play major and minor chords, and you should be able to play a variation of of my song. Now, before I go, I should let you know that I have in fact written my own book about music theory. I've written two. This one's the beginner version. This one's called Guitar Theory Revolution, Guitar Music Theory for Beginners, and it has diagrams like that, and I show you exactly how to play different chords. So there's the diagram and then the picture to show you where to put your fingers. There are diagrams like that for knowing which chords sound good together. So if you want to write chord progressions, if you want to write your own songs, then I show you how to do that. I show you various basic scales so that you can improvise. You know, there you go. Those are the how to come up with your own chord progressions, scale patterns so that you can do some soloing. This is the real version, as it were, that you can get on Amazon. If you do a search for Guitar Theory Revolution or the sequel, which is called Blues Theory Revolution, or you can get a fully digital version, which is on my website, and I will leave a link below, but it's called guitartheoryrevolution.com, and the digital version is PDFs. It includes ear training MP3s, and there's also a version where you can get some videos. And with the digital version, you can print it out as well. So if you only want to print out a couple of pages, you can do that at home. And obviously with the digital version, all of the revenue goes to myself and supports me, whereas for Amazon, you know, it goes, some of it goes to Amazon. So yeah, whatever version you prefer, I don't mind. If you are interested, check this out. And so for example, I show you how to do all these these seventh chords and stuff like that, so that you can incorporate them into your playing. And basically, I mean, the reason I wrote this book is basically as a reference for myself, because I wanted all the things that I was interested in one convenient place. So I started collecting everything, and eventually I just compiled it all into this book and the other book. So yeah, if you're interested, check that out. Okay, thanks a lot. If you are interested to learn some of my other songs, let me know in the comments which one you want to learn, and I'll get around to making a video about that as well. Thanks so much. I'll speak to you guys soon.